All right, welcome everybody. Today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Sunshine Layne. She's a medium, a holistic spiritual and soul life coach. So I guess maybe in your own words, tell us a little bit about who is Sunshine.
Thanks, Chris, for having me today.
My pleasure.
Yes, just as you said, I am a medium, and Sunshine is my nickname, but I've always used it and people call me that. So I absolutely love what I do.
Awesome. So what is it? Like, tell us a little bit about what is it that you do?
Well, what is it that I do? I was born with cerebral palsy. So I was a sick kid's child, Easter seals child, and I had to actually learn how to coordinate my body because of the CP and my speech. So I was in therapy continuously till I was 18. And through that process, I was very supported at a very young age to be me and that I get to. So I think that's a unique thing that I experienced as a child. And I think when we're all born and come here to Mother Earth, that we all have gifts and we're all here to heal and love and evolve our soul in this lifetime. And it's through human experiences that we can lose those gifts, we get off on what isn't our true essence. And for me, I was left fully open to spirit.
So just to kind of break that down, I mean, what I'm hearing is that like your family, your mother, your parents or whatever really supported just you being open and sharing, or how does that look like? What did you mean by that?
What do I mean by that? I think we all come in with gifts. You hear of, a pretend friend, or you hear of people experiencing spirits. And, a lot of people will say, don't talk out loud about it. There's no such thing. That's bad to do. I grew up playing with fairies and talking to spirit all the time and being very open and very supportive with my parents. And they fully accepted that and never closed that down.
Gotcha. So they not necessarily encouraged it. Maybe they did, but they didn't say that didn't exist. There's no such thing. And right. Okay. Gotcha. Awesome. That's awesome. And so how do you go about helping people in what you do?
How do I go about helping people? Well, for the first 35 years of my life, I had only spirit as a teacher. So people would be crossing over, they would be doing different things. And I just learned to share that with people and be open about it and communicate it with people that had passed and be able to have conversations, or people that were passing and not able to communicate and support their families in that. And I was seeing a lot of things actually before they happened. And I wasn't around spiritual people myself. So I would foresee things if people wanted to say good or bad. And I didn't understand it. I thought maybe I was creating for it to happen. And I was probably at 19, 20, and a family friend, I thought I had created something to happen. She said, no, you're very gifted. And so I was 21 when she gave me this book. And it was like people refer to a Bible. And to me, it explained so much. But it also came with a reality for me. I thought everybody was open like this, right? That's why I was always very verbally. So there was a sadness in me that people were just living in the physical and considering everything else invisible around them. And it's always there and it's always waiting. And it's very empowering. It's very peaceful. It has a higher consciousness. It wasn't until I was in my I was 35 and I made a transition, a life change, separated from my partner. And that was the first time I was around spiritual teachers or mentors and started to understand more and more. And I've always worked with people, no matter if it was somebody passing, if it was somebody that had already passed, if it was energy work. I've did that all my life. and love doing what I'm doing. But I always let people know it's not me doing it, right? Everybody has gifts. It's just remembering them. I'm just kind of like the turning dial of a radio station or an antenna of some sorts where I can communicate and bring the information through. But everybody has gifts, and it's just tapping into that once again.
Right. Okay, good. And so I guess you help people tap into their gifts. Is that what you do now, or do you still do the mediumship? Like, what's your focus really now today?
I do still do the mediumship, and I do energy work and work with a lot of souls that are no longer in the physical realm. I still do all the work. But what was important to me, even years ago, somebody could be sitting right in front of me or on the phone, and most people would contact me around a reading, the mediumship work. And I just felt that even though they were there, mediumship takes a certain energy. And it was like I was still going through like kind of barriers and walls, even though that's what they were wanting to get there. And it's divine healing information. And sometimes our bodies and systems are so stuffed that it would just go right over their head after all of that. So I started speaking and asking spirit, people's bodies and systems are so overloaded, right? They're overflowing and they can't take in this information. So what can we do? And that's when they started sharing with me some cellular release work. And that's when I got into that. But the thing is, doing one-on-one work, that is fine. People's, they can feel really a lot of enlightenment. They can feel purity. They can feel release. They can feel a lot of things that they wouldn't normally experience. But it would be in the presence. It would be in the energy in that moment. So I wanted to develop and work with the universe as far as, not just in that presence, not going back to the old programming and everything they already had known when they walk out the door. So I did work and create with Spirit week to week, a year-long program that helps people unload what they no longer need it, to make that room for new stuff coming in, and just taking it step by step on going into a higher consciousness, and once again tapping
Okay.
into their uniqueness, their divine soul, making room for that connection.
And so is this a program that they just purchase and they could do along on their own, or is it like guided with you? There's the year-long process.
It can go both ways.
Okay.
Some people choose to do the one-on-one work still in the program. Some come into group, and I teach classes each week. And some can go purchase the program where they can go in and do it themselves too, because everything's recorded. There's principal notes, there's meditation,
Okay.
there's all the release work in there.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Awesome. And so I guess maybe how would you like, what's unique about your services versus other, similar people doing something similar? What makes you stand out above other people, doing similar work or.
Mhm. I do believe that we're all equal and we're all from one place, but we're on a separate journey, and we all illuminate and help each other heal, and we have the ability to heal too. What would be different in me and my roadmap and the way I work would be that I've always remained open, and Spirit is my main teacher. And I do believe I've noticed a difference if I have a mentor in my life, or a teacher, and I continuously do that, because we all have to grow and move forward, and we're learning every day and experiencing every day, and it helps you not get stuck in certain places. Or if you're feeling that I've had this spiritual journey, I know everything or something like that, you wouldn't be here anymore, because your lifetime would be done. It's a continuous basically experiencing those treasures and gifts and the gratitudes and those golden nuggets and everything that we learn from each other.
Awesome, awesome. So what I'm hearing, it's important for people to, to reach out for help and to get some guidance. And, you know, it, it's really, from my own experience too, it's really helped me move forward because you don't know what you don't know. And there's some kind of teacher or guide or, you know, therapist or whoever you want to see as something that we can't do this alone. And that person is there to help kind of maybe see things differently. So is that what I'm hearing?
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's always good to have that support. And like if we were, you hear of that saying, do you hear a tree fall in the forest? Right. And the answer
Right.
to that would be no, because if you weren't present to see, you wouldn't have those sound waves, right, in your ears
Right.
that hear that, yes, you can hear a tree fall in the forest. So it's kind of that same scenario,
Right, right, right,
right?
right,
It's
right. And you can't play really a sport or an activity without having some kind of coach or teacher to guide you there too. So
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like what kind of people come to see you or who should come see you? What's that like ideal person? Like who are those people that come seek you out?
Well, I do believe on working with the universe, and whoever is sent is sent, and we're meant to connect. But at the same time, there's a lot of people, especially right now, that's feeling, maybe that there's more to life, right? Tired of that same routine in and out, and what is it all about? It could be, they might be feeling a lot of fear, anxiety, overwhelm, like tiredness. Um, and mentioning tiredness, a lot of times I don't think that it's necessarily our physical body that's tired and exhausted. It's our soul, right? Because we've been repeating different things and our soul already knows. Um, and a lot of people are having health issues, right? So we all have the ability to heal ourselves, right? It's just learning those tools and tapping into what others may consider if invisible.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thanks. So what would be another way? So what would be like your greatest like success story? And what did you really learn from that experience?
Oh, that's a big question, Chris. I do believe that I experience miracles each day, and that is in my consciousness. And I believe we all have the ability to. Can you imagine if we turned on the TV or radio and all that was on there was, just miracles every day that people experienced? Our whole Mother Earth, our whole being, our whole vibration frequency would be different here on Earth. Um, but so I do believe I experience miracles all the time, but I'm being brought back to a little boy that's very close to me. And he was born, he had a lot of health issues, pain in his legs, pain in his arms, very uncomfortable at night ever since an infant. And he got to a stage in life that he just woke up one morning and his hair was actually coming out, and he couldn't bear, he couldn't stand, he couldn't work his legs, just screaming in a lot of pain. So hospitalization and different things. Um, and he was little wee, maybe about 7 at the time, his first hospitalization that way. And he couldn't leave till he was able to bear and use his legs. But it happened the same exact time the next year. So he had asked if I could do meditation or past life work or something. And I said, whenever you're ready, we'll go and do that. And I went in, and the past life work, because it happened the exact same time of year, was a sign for me that it had to do with past life. And went in and did that work. And when he was ready to hear what it was about to his level, his aspect, and because he's a child, right? Um, is he could totally fully resonate with it, felt it, knew what I was talking about, and just bringing to that awareness, right? His soul already knew it. Um, he was able to fully accept it and allow it and honor it. And even as a little dude, right? And let it go and move it out. And he has never, ever again lost the use of his legs to
Wow.
that degree, to that form, or lost his hair.
Incredible. That's a great story. Yeah. Thanks. So what about like from the opposite standpoint? Because I feel like, what kind of challenges we have, there's always some kind of challenge or some kind of setback. Because, I feel like those are sometimes our greatest opportunities to grow. If we don't have them when there's no need, if everything was always rosy, well, there's no, that kind of maybe gets stale or boring. So sometimes it's those moments of darkness even that kind of propel us to the light. So what
Mhm.
about in your life? Like, where would you find like what would be something like that?
For me personally,
Yeah,
yes.
or even a story with a client or with someone you worked with.
Well, that way I'd like to share personally and maybe with an individual that I worked with too. Um, Personally, I had a career that I absolutely loved. I worked with abused children, women and children in a shelter for many years in safe homes. I loved what I did. And I was married for 17 years. But that was kind of not transpiring, but I wanted to keep it whole as a family. And I had a car accident that changed my whole entire life. And I didn't know myself at all anymore. It changed my physical. Um, it no longer allowed me to be whom I was. I had to start in water therapy. I had 3 young children, so I wasn't able to get up on the down on the floor and play with them. I was a career woman, so it changed my life upside down. My marriage ended, and it was a huge transitioning, and I did get stuck in that, looking for my old self, wanting to be that old me, even though I believe we're constantly changing because we're energy, we cannot remain the same. But when your whole identity, your job, your marriage, everything as a mom and who you are completely leaves, it's hard to find that footing again. But I found what I needed to do was to go into my bodies and systems and fully accept and honor that person I was, where my body was at, and whom I was not there and would never be the same again. And that's when I began to really heal and become unstuck, right? Not looking for my old identity, letting my, old job and what I love go, and doing the release work that needed to be done, because we can all heal oneself. It's
Right.
just not being in denial about it or looking for something that we were, or seeking, but moving forward and looking at things as treasures and gifts and lessons and what you received from those individuals for years and what you have done, and honoring all of that.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what about like what are you currently working on? Like, let's tell the people out there what kind of things you're working on that excites you, gets you up in the morning. Like, what do you like? What do you like doing?
Well, I'm really excited because I hadn't been online. Didn't necessarily think the internet, that you could feel things or experience things online. And I had friends for years saying, get on there. And especially with how the world has been changing, and we're going from a survival mode here on Earth to like a co-creation and thriving. I thought, well, I'll get online, right? I want to work with the universe, and just trusting that the universe would interconnect everything that way. Um, so I started working on looking at the years of all the work that I've did, the individuals I've worked with, and how many different healing modalities and release work, and just, you know, putting it under an umbrella and working with Spirit weekly to develop the year-long program, which people can come in for six months. So I actually started that with groups in September, and have come, moved forward from that. So yes, it's taken off, and I love what I'm doing, and
Awesome.
trusting that everything's going to transpire, and just loving all the connections, right, that I'm making with each unique divine soul.
Awesome. And I guess the last question really would be like, if you can go back in the time and change one thing, or maybe more than one thing in your business or yourself, and kind of start again, what would you do?
Well, when you ask that, two questions have come to mind. I think it's really important for people to have an awareness around that conditioned self, right? That old programming, patterns that could be generational or ancestral, that are not our true selves, right? And stepping into that soul connection. As far as a business aspect, a lot of trust, right? Not looking at, I still need to do this and I still need to do that, and I didn't complete that today, but having that trust that the universe and the divine, even when you're sleeping, they're still working on things for you, right? It's all coming together, that, that you're completely supported at all times. And business wise, to know what you're doing and always continue to grow and expand that way. But life is short, right? Even it off. Don't make your business or your work 90% of you or 98% of you, because that is not what we're here to do. We're here to fully experience things, right? We're given the physical body to fully experience, to take a moment and feel that sun on your face, or the breeze going across your body, to tune into the sounds, to give a tree a hug, or somebody that you love, like just to be present in all moments. Even though if you're serving, right, just to, live
So,
life, to really find a balance in that.
so that sounds great. Let's put that. Can you put that in like three like valuable like pieces? Like what would be like nice and simple? Like I heard like trust was there, and maybe experience.
Mm-hmm.
But what would be like three valuable pieces you can leave people with to like you would give yourself if you knew ahead of time? Like what would
Mm-hmm.
those three pieces, obviously?
Always trust and know that you're never alone, that you're completely supported.
Good.
Um,
Trust
that
one.
is valuable.
Good.
Yes. And to um, live life to your fullest, right? Take
Live
those
life to the
moments to
fullest
be
too.
present,
Good.
and to know that, all our bodies and systems are energy, and we always need to be flowing. And if we're getting stuck, um, because of something that happened in that day, or to feel it, to allow it, to move it out, we're constantly changing, forever changing, right? I look at it,
Right.
I'm here with you guys right now, but I'm not the same as when we first started to where we are at now, just always being in that flow, right?
Awesome. Awesome. And then
Mm-hmm.
lastly, just like how do we connect to you? Like how do we find you? How would someone reach out to find you? How can we support
Okay.
you? Yeah.
Well, I do have a Facebook group called Soul Connection Seekers, and I do lives on that every Monday at 11:11. So I just open to spirit. We do meditation every other week, and I just channel what spirit feels that people can heal from, that they can use. And sometimes I do mini divine readings. So that is Soul Connection Seekers. And then I do have an email, Infinity Soul Connection at gmail.com.
Awesome. And we'll leave those links for everybody below this call as well. So thank you, Sunshine, for joining us today. And yeah, it was a wonderful interview. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Chris, for having me.
And
And I
have
hope everybody has a magical day. And I'm
awesome.
sending lots of love.
Awesome. And have a great day as well.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.